Yeah, 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 yeah. See, now people like to talk, I don't really like to hear them. See these dudes naked, that's why I don't get near them. This rapper's in my blood, I don't even need a serum. Hometown kids, so you hear the city cheering. Lately I've been going off, think I'm killing now, man, just wait till this my job. I'm trying to PC sauce, I mean every word I'm saying. They don't even care, they want me rhyming up.
Okay, we are on.
So he don't even come on and join in over there. You're really just running this. You're really the production company.
He's like my Jamie.
Gotcha.
You know.
The cameras.
You're okay. So we really do have an open seat. Like I thought we were. Bro, what are you doing over there?
We have a co-host. We usually have a girl on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said got a peg in her eye.
Bike peg.
Or bike peg.
Hit her in the eye, grabbing her kid's bike. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? But anyway.
Real quick, just to get synced up. Okay.
I always want to do that.
The clap.
Yeah.
Shit, we can have you do it.
Can I do the clap?
Absolutely.
I want to do the clap. What do you say when you clap? Like,
Action.
What's action? Is that what you?
No, you just clap it.
It's just
you
a sync
say,
up.
You're supposed
Action
to say
first
like,
and then clap.
Yeah.
scene 1, take 4, and then you clap it.
Yeah.
I'm the one take god. Everything's one take for me. That's what I'm gonna say. One take.
Well, that dude, we're recording right now, so we're gonna use all this shit. So
I'm a one take guy. Like when I go do videos for Angelus when I'm painting, showing new products, I'm a one take guy. Leave the camera rolling. I just
So yeah, we'll jump into it. Tell us your story. How did you get started? Where does your inspiration come from?
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I fell in love with sneakers. Seventh grade.
Hold on. Rewind it a little bit. You got to introduce them though.
Oh, the introduction.
Yeah. See,
We need the introduction, man.
See, we'll usually do that at the end too. They'll usually tell me like, okay, now you got to introduce yourself after we did everything.
no. He's right. He keeps me in line, man. I'm telling you, he's like my Jamie on this shit. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Jonathan Millar. I go by JSM801. I am a sneaker customizer designer here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I've been doing it roughly almost 2 decades.
All right. Now how did you get started? Let's go. We'll go little by little.
I honestly I fell in love with sneakers in 7th grade. But like a lot of stories you hear, I came from a family that didn't have any money. My dad was a sole provider. My mom was a stay-at-home because my dad was old school. You know, he wanted my mom to raise his kids. He didn't want the neighbor lady or the crazy cat lady raising his kids. He wanted his kids to be raised a certain way. So we just didn't have a lot of money. And so falling in love with sneakers was probably the worst thing I could have fell in love with because
Pricey.
any sneaker collector and the guy knows it gets pricey. I just, as far as customizing, it came in because I wanted shoes that nobody had. When I seen a guy that was rocking PEs or a shoe that wasn't available to the public, that was like status that was the top tier.
Right.
And so for me, the next step was, okay, if I can't pay for these shoes that nobody has, I'm just going to make the shoes that nobody has. And so the first shoe I ever did was a Jordan 7 Orion. And everyone knows if you're a 7 guy, I apologize, but they're ugly. I hate 7s. I don't even think I have one 7 in my collection, except for, maybe my Miros. I got a 7 in my collection, but I'm just not a big fan of 7s. So, but I was buying every Jordan because back then it wasn't like now where every weekend a Jordan was dropping.
Right.
You just bought it because it was like a month ago that a Jordan dropped.
Right.
So I bought them, and I just remember looking at them one day and being like, man, I wonder what these would look like matte black. And so I grabbed it, pulled it out. It was, brand new. And I grabbed a can of black spray paint.
People probably would have fucking died if they would have saw you do that.
And I knew it wasn't going to be wearable. I knew spray paint was not flexible. I wasn't an idiot.
Right.
I knew, but I just thought if it looked good, I could just put it on the shelf.
Right.
Because they were just in the box anyway. And so I taped them up and I sprayed it with spray paint, and man, they was actually pretty beautiful. I was like, man, that matte black is kind of dope.
Hell
yeah. And that's where I kind of went down the rabbit hole looking for leather paint.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I didn't see Angelus for quite some time. And if you don't know Angelus is, the beginning of customizing in sneakers. It was, designed for shoes. So,
Angelus is a paint company.
Yep, a paint, and they have supply. I mean, they're everything now.
Right.
They got merch, they got everything for sneakers now. But yeah, back then, they were realistically the only paint for leather, unless you went to like Italy and got belt paint,
Right.
stuff like
Right.
that. But it was specifically sold just for sneaker customizers, and there wasn't many back then either. There was maybe like 12 of us.
Yeah, I can't remember. I saw like I don't even know how the fuck I came across it. A YouTube video of a guy doing like painting, like literally getting out like the fine,
Yeah,
you know,
fine tip brushes.
and going to town and like,
Yeah.
you know, he's literally, you know, pulling out all the threads
Yeah.
and redoing the tongue and
Uh-huh.
like just to see that whole deal. And he like, you know, he's squeezing this into like a 20-minute
Yeah.
video.
Yep.
But like, you know, you were saying earlier, like, you know, it's like a 50-hour deal for each,
Right.
at least, I would imagine.
Yeah, it just depends on what. Now there's so many different types of customizers. You got good ones, you got shitty ones, you got ones that think they're good, but for the guys that really put in the work
Mm-hmm.
and that really care about their name and their product, some of these dudes are putting in 20, 25 hours in a painted shoe.
Right.
And then you get guys that are building sneakers from scratch, and I'll say it here, if they're fake. If you're making it, Nike ain't making it, it's fake. But I respect the art and I respect the
Right.
hustle. I've recently dipped into this and brought a team on to start doing these. But these guys could spend anywhere in their basements or their garages $50, 50 hours on one
pair.
concept. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the attention to detail can get crazy. I mean, you got guys using gold, putting diamonds in checks. You got, you just being made out of every material you can think of. So you can get pretty crazy with these. So yeah, upwards of 50 hours is pretty common.
Damn. So how do you get like, so if someone reaches out to you, where does the inspiration come from? Like, do they share like the concept that they want, or they just like, hey, I'm from so-and-so, like go.
And this is a story that I could probably, shine on to a lot of these guys that are up and coming in the customizing world. It changes, your career changes. When I first started, I was painting what everyone wanted me to paint. And I fell out of love with that real quick.
Right.
Because you're taking photos of stuff that like people aren't really liking because they have no connection to whatever's on that shoe.
Right.
And so as you develop your name in the industry, you kind of become a designer. Guys will just message you and say, hey, I just want you to paint me a sneaker. This is my favorite sneaker. Go crazy. And then I'll usually just ask for a couple colors or, what just give me some kind of inspiration, and then I'll take that. And then I'll dig in, if I don't know anything about whatever the shoe is,
Right.
I'll do some research and I dig deep. I try to find meanings of certain logos, or you know what I mean. Try to add something else to it besides just paint. And so, to me, that's kind of how I built my name. Was back when I started, I was taking like shoes that were worth a ton of money that we couldn't afford, and taking that theme and putting it onto another silhouette.
Right.
And that was kind of my thing. Like and I was really known for that in the beginning. And so, yeah, I just slowly transitioned from having to paint what everyone else wanted to do to doing my own thing. And now I just design what I want in my collection. And if it's something that's a full build, I have a team. I design the shoe, I pick all the materials, and I'll let my team build it. If it's one-on-one, if it's something that just needs to be more hands-on, is not going to be anything crazy, that's where I step in. I recently just brought in another a team member on board because she can do murals.
Okay.
And I had her do a Dodger shoe. I actually just posted on my story. I haven't posted on my feed yet, but she painted Ohtani.
Oh, no way.
My wife are big Ohtani fans. We're Cardinal fans, but we're big Ohtani fans. And she has been painting for about a year.
Damn.
It's actually my son's girlfriend, Ari. She's amazing. She's 15, crazy talented, and I gave her an Air Force One. I was like, hey, can you paint this on this shoe? Because
Right.
we'd like to offer this. And then I told her what the breakdown would be, right? Like, we gave her a job. And I'm not the boss that says, hey, you're going to make $50 an hour, because to most people, $50 an hour sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah,
You work too hard.
for real.
I said, you go home. She's 15. And of course, I had my wife have this discussion with her, right? You go home, you talk to your parents, make sure this is all good. We brought them in, we met them, and we said, what do you want to make? So we let her, and she killed it. She did that shoe. So yeah, so
does Ohtani know about the shoe?
no, probably. And he might, because I've worked with a few of the Dodgers players.
Okay.
And one of the coaches, we do shoes for these guys, so it's not very uncommon they'll see it and it'll be picked up. But it's on a Nike. We know Ohtani's with New Balance.
Right.
But the cool thing will be is if he hits up, my wife or someone on my team and says, hey, I want this on a New Balance cleat. and then we can bring her in and, you know, record her
Right.
doing it and build her career. So
That's so, I mean, I love hearing like, you know, people who, you know, in a sense have made it are all about like uplifting people that are either just getting started or, you know, struggling to get to that level.
right.
You know, so that's dope. I love hearing that.
Yeah, I made my career just trying to help. I remember when I first started my YouTube channel back in like 2012. I was posting videos of how I was doing stuff, and a lot of the bigger customizers, the names that were bigger, would always reach out and say, "Bro, you know, this isn't right. Like we're not gonna. If you teach everyone how to paint, we're not gonna have a job."
Right.
And for me, it wasn't about, you know, there was plenty of money to be made. You know what I mean?
Well, there's
So-
always money to be made
Right.
in anything you really do.
especially when there's, you know, back then probably like 7 billion people on the planet. Like
Yeah.
everyone wears shoes.
Right.
You know what I mean? The sneaker
Right.
community wasn't huge, especially customs. Customs were frowned on back then. I remember getting all kinds of hate when I started my career.
crazy,
It was
though.
just pure hate. People like, oh, you ruin these shoes and you should take a long walk off a short bridge or go kill yourself. Or
But then it just takes that one like popular person to like
Right.
buy and rep it, and then the
Right.
whole industry changes.
and it changes pretty quick. And but now it's just everyone just wants to hate no matter what it is now. So
I know I don't get that. Like, you know, Lee and you know, me and my producer Lee, you know, and then our editor Jaden, you know, like we own this media company, and you know, we tell people like, you know, certain ideas, and they're just like, oh well, you know, you have a podcast. Like, there's a million podcasts. Like, what is your podcast about? It's like, subscribe and tune in. Like,
right.
it, you know,
Support.
it's like it may not be your thing, you know, like the co-host that I usually have who's not here, like her dad, you know, came to her and he's like, you know, you guys are really funny, but you need to tone it down. And then, you know, she's like, you know, what's your thoughts on that? And I go, I'm gonna fucking turn it up.
How old is this guy?
He's older. He's an older dude, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
you just know your demographic, right?
well, right. But I'm like, I'm gonna turn it up because like he's coming to me, you know, trying to give me like constructive criticism.
Right.
But you're not part of that process. You're not there in the moment. You know, like why would I even for a second take into consideration where you're
Right.
trying to like dog on something
Right.
that we're making?
And there's a lot of people in my industry as well. There's guys out there that call themselves customizers that never picked up a paintbrush. You know, they do digital work, which is awesome. Cool. It's what they do. They're great at it. And
Yeah.
I wish I had that talent. I don't have the brain capacity to do that stuff. But we got guys that are criticizing, you know, people and they can't even do it themselves. Guys that never picked up a sewing or, you know, worked on a sewing machine or picked up some paints and done anything to a shoe, but you're calling yourself a shoe customizer and
Right.
you're critiquing other people. It's like, bro,
It's
you
like stay in your lane,
sit
man.
down and just sit down and I'll let you know when you can talk.
So how many different, like, you know, if you take like the custom shoe world, like how many different types of customs are there? Like you just brought up like digital printing.
Right.
You know, you do like the more hands-on with the sewing machine. There's painting that's involved. Like,
Right.
how many other avenues are there?
I mean, realistically, if you got a guy that's well-rounded, he's not just stitching on checks, you know. And then you have guys that don't even know how to sew. Like they don't even own a sewing machine. They don't care to either, which is awesome because you can make money painting.
Right.
You know, you just color blocking. You don't even have to be artistic. If you can just put a straight line of paint on a shoe, you can
you can
be
do.
customizing and
Right.
do something. But you can paint. You can do recons, which you're deconstructing, whether you're taking checks off or toe boxes or tongue tags, tongues themselves or whatever, and then you're adding parts to the shoe, which I think some sneaker purists will say that that's okay. That's still an authentic shoe.
Right.
Then you can have basically, I call it a concept. A lot of guys out here call them recons. I don't understand why you call them recons. I used to as well. I just don't understand why we were calling them recons because you're not deconstructing to reconstruct. You're just constructing,
Right.
which you can go to a leather store and pick out all your own materials. You can buy some digital patterns. Some of them are not great. There's a lot of good guys out there that do really good work. They just have shitty patterns. Shoe looks completely misshaped. I make my own. I mean, I started out buying some patterns and seeing what it was. And then I'd cut them out on certain types of paper and trim them and make them the way I wanted them to. But yeah, you can just grab a sewing machine and build a shoe from complete scratch. You can take a class. You know, Shoe Surgeon just got a hit with that by Nike in a lawsuit for teaching people how to make fake sneakers. So I don't know, but there's a lot of guys doing that. But yeah, you have the concepts, and so yeah, there's just different levels. You know.
So you brought up before the show, you were showing us like the Andy Reid, and then you were basically reconstructing a Nike out of that, correct?
Yep. It's an Air Force One.
So is there any like liability on that end where Nike could come at you for?
Here's the thing. I try to always watch, even when there's customizers going at each other. You'll see me stay silent because now I have a PR team and I have a legal team. Because I knew once I dipped into this world of concepts, you're always open to leaving yourself to be sued.
Right.
Always. It's always how you do it. You'll never see me disrespecting Nike. As far as I know, there's only been 2 customizers that have ever collabed with Nike for events. I could be wrong. This is what I was told. There's 2 of us. I've collabed with Nike twice on 2 different events. Nike's reached out and sent me packages. They've seen what I'm doing. So I just try not to step on their toes. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're always, one day you can get that in the mail anytime.
I mean, I would imagine if you're, taking whatever brand of Nike, whatever style, and you're, copying that, that would be one thing.
Right.
But I think, like with the Andy Reid thing, where you're literally starting from scratch and building up, that, I mean, even though you're using the swoosh, like that's still your shoe.
See, for me, I see exactly where you're coming from. For me, I'm the first guy that'll tell you that, like, when I first made my very first concept, it wasn't a great shoe. It was the first time. I mean, it wasn't like I just one and done. I did a few things to build up to it. But for me, I'm now in the fake sneaker business.
Right.
And it's black and white. I don't know why people always want to start a discussion about what's fake and what's real. If Nike didn't make it, it's not real. If you're buying a donor shoe, ripping the sole off of it and putting it onto an upper that I made, it's still fake.
Right.
You don't put a Porsche hood on a Volkswagen and now it's a Porsche. You don't put a Porsche motor into a Volkswagen and now it's a Porsche. It doesn't make any sense. So if Nike didn't make it, it's fake. But it's welcoming now. People are enjoying people's art, their visions in what materials, whatever. So it's accepted now. But at the end of the day, they're still fake. And if you're replicating a shoe, a company can come after you. Like you start a clothing company, and all of a sudden this guy over here takes it and makes your logo purple instead of red, and he's selling these T-shirts. Right. You're gonna go after him.
So do you have are you copyright on all your stuff and trademarked? And
No. The thing is like I've been asked that so many times, or you need to do this. I can't copyright anything because I don't own any of it. I'm remaking a design. I'm starting, and I do both. I do concepts. I have a team that helps me do concepts. I'm putting out a few more pairs, but I'm painting on original shoes. I'm reconstructing some original shoes, sole swapping, taking older shoes and redoing them, stuff like that. So I've done it all. I've gone through it all. So there's really nothing on my part to copyright. It's just I'm leaving myself open just by putting swooshes. I just don't put my name on the shoe. I leave the tongue tags. I leave everything Nike.
Right.
A lot of these guys that have gotten sued in the past, it's because they take a shoe, then the tongue tag has their logo on it.
Right.
To me, that's theft.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying what I'm doing is theft or is not theft. I'm stealing 100%. I'm just trying to do it as respectfully as I can.
Right.
I leave all Nike stuff on there. When I sell a designer a shoe, I don't try to play it off like it is a Nike shoe or it came this way. I make sure that everyone knows that it's a custom, But yeah, I'm definitely vulnerable, just like everyone else.
All right, because I know when our mutual friend Colby decided, like, hey, like you should come on the podcast. Mm-hmm. You kind of had a little bit of controversy with someone or a group of people within the shoe community saying like you're just using nothing but fakes.
Yeah.
And so he tried to explain that to me. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you buy a Jordan, it's a Jordan, but that's a Jordan at the time you buy it.
Yeah.
As soon as you start fucking with it, it's no longer a Jordan anymore.
So, and 100%, to me, I'm just done arguing with people about it. If you see my page, there's not a lot of BS on there.
Right.
Because I just don't sit and bicker with people. You either like what I do or you don't. 90% of the people that are barking up a tree and telling me what I'm doing wrong or what I'm doing is not okay is the guy that's never bought anything from me.
Right.
The only guy I have to keep, and here's the thing, as a customizer, if you're going to please everyone, I've said this before, if you're out to please everyone, you're going to be broke.
Yeah. You're
going to be for the streets if you're broke. That's what this community wants you. If you're for the people, if you're selling your shoes for dirt cheap, if you're giving them to them and making $50, then the crowd is about you. But the minute that you start doing something for you, they're going to start coming at you with pitchforks.
Right.
And so I had to make the decision, is it about me and my family, what's best for us? or what's best for the community. I help build this customizing community. A lot of these guys try to, push me out of this community recently, and they say, "Oh, he's got fake customs because I'm having a team help me do my some reconstructing," and it's like, what's a fake custom? What's who?
Like
So you're telling me that Bob in the middle of Colorado in his garage builds it? It's good, but if Lee somewhere else builds it, it's a fake.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. If anyone built the shoe besides Nike, it's a fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And if these guys want to talk about, stitching stuff on shoes, that's okay, then cool, buy it. If you're a purist and if it's not a real shoe, then don't buy what everyone calls recons. I'm still in the transition of calling it a recon and a concept because, after doing all my research, why we use these names, like even dead stock, we'll get into that later, but these names are being so misused. But yeah, if you're a purist and you only wear authentic sneakers, at least you can appreciate the shoe.
Right.
I've had people, I learned the game from purists. I got guys that I was taught the sneaker game that don't support what I do. You know what I mean? They're fakes. I was taught you don't wear fakes. You don't, reps are the worst thing you can do. And there's a lot of history into reps. Black market paid for, child sex trafficking back
Right.
in the day. It was darker than just wearing a pair of fake sneakers.
Right.
So I learned all that, but these guys are purists, so they'll never buy a pair of my shoes, but they support what I do, like,
Right.
oh man, them are cool. If Nike came out with that, I would definitely buy that.
But they're also not your targeted audience either.
Guys, I sell out of everything I do. If you like what I do, you support me. If you
Right.
don't, you don't. And I'm not bothered by that. I didn't grow up in this amazing place to where if someone says something bad about me, I break down.
Yeah.
I'm used to it my whole
Right.
life. I come from an area where, it wasn't rainbows and unicorns. So I don't need that. So I'm not out to please nobody. I'm out here to do what's best for me and my family.
Right. But that's good though. I mean, it's always good to have the chip on your shoulder.
Right.
Lee and I have discussed, when we eventually, grow this thing as we continue to, get the content out there, we know at some point, we'll have, sponsors that will
Right.
want, and I use me personally, I'm more like the Dana White.
Gotcha.
You're not
Yeah.
going to tell me what I can
Do
and can't
shoes
say.
for that guy too.
You did?
I've done a few pairs. For
Have
him.
you?
Yeah, I can do.
But you get what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah,
you're not going to tell me what I can and can't say.
Right.
This is my platform.
You know what was super dope? Now that you bring that up, one thing that I respect about Dana White is when the whole world was like shunning everyone that was fucking with Trump.
Yeah.
Dana White stood up and was like, "That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my friend. He was the only one that believed in me back then. He supports him to this day. He shows up to every
Right.
them types of friends." I recently went through a situation like this where a few of my guys really stood out, and a few of my guys went out, and they kind of faded. I'm like, these are my day one. These are my dudes that have my back. It really shows you who fucks with you and who really rocks with you. Because at the end of the day, man, all I needed was a friend just to say, hey, that's what he's doing. I don't care what it is. He's not hurting no one. It's his business, and I support it.
Yep.
And
Here's what I'll tell you. I got 2 in this room right now, and anyone that they fuck with, we fuck with.
Yeah.
So
what's
welcome.
up.
You got fans for life, man.
Hambino. Shout out to the big Hambino.
That's right. So I don't know if you want to name drop, but we talked about Andy Reid, you talked about Dana White. Who are some other bigger names that you've done some customs for?
Man, I've been doing this so long. I'm kind of past that point of
Who it's
name
for.
dropping.
Yeah.
Because I get it in every man's career. That's important, right? Like we have a few local guys that did some big stuff with some big names. I was chasing that in the beginning. I was in the NBA back in 2012. There's no money there, back then. There was no money. These guys were like, hey, I'll post a post about your shoes.
Yeah.
That don't pay the light bill. So I got out of that, right? And I did it then my thing was for actual sneakerheads, like real sneakerheads. I painted shoes that sneakerheads appreciated because there was money there.
Right.
They were buying shoes before shoes were cool. So they were going to spend money on shoes even when they're not cool anymore.
Right.
So that was my target, right? Because they were always consistently spending money on shoes. So that was my target. And then again, once I got there and the money was coming in and life was getting good, okay, now I want to dip back kind of into the sports world. And then I found myself doing the charity stuff with the NBA and the NFL. And then, of course, that's where the names come in, right? Like,
Right.
you know, the Dana Whites and some of the fighters in the UFC that I've done shoes for. In the PFL, my guy Sean, shout out to Sean in the PFL, done some stuff for Kayla. She was the PFL champ for a long time. NBA, countless, you know, some names there. Recently doing some stuff for Andy Reid, which was cool.
Yep.
But My Cause, My Cleats, I just finished my 5th year, My Cause, My Cleats. If you guys don't know what that is, it's where each player wears a custom cleat. They pick the charity. They send us the cleat. We basically just design it, throw it on the cleat. They wear it for one game, and then they autograph it, and then we auction it off.
Okay.
So we did Jaguars this year. And when I say the Jaguars, I don't mean the whole team.
No,
I got other customizers that really do whole teams. But I did some for the Jaguars this year, the Eagles, the Cowboys,
Ravens?
the Bills. I think we did one shoe for the Ravens
Nice.
this year.
That's my team.
So you get in with these guys, and then all of a sudden, you know, they wear it to a practice, walking through the tunnel, and then all of a sudden, you know, my guy Joe Ingles, shout out to my boy Joe Ingles, he literally he's like, keep my card on file, like whatever you make in a low top, send it to me. And then I get a text like 3 days after he received his shoe. He's like, hey, there's 5 guys on the team that love this shoe. And I say, well, don't be giving, you know, no information away. They can go through you, whatever. Because again, I'm not that guy that just wants to sell shoes.
Not the clout. You do it for the art.
I'm not. And like, man, I didn't post one picture this year for My Cause, My Cleats, and I really wanted to. I just didn't have time. I'm past the point of just showing the world who I'm doing cool shoes for.
Right.
You know, I don't need the clout anymore. I've been doing this for so long, and I talked about this on my last live. I'm 42, about to be 43. Been doing this for a long time. That part's kind of past now. Now I really just want to give my wife and my kids the life that they deserve.
Right.
And I know a lot of people will probably got something to say about it, but I'm kind of just going for the money. And what I mean by that is I'm working harder, working smarter, and I'm just doing what's best for me and my family.
You've been doing it since you were a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's time to cash in.
Yeah, it's really, and I paved the road for a lot of guys.
Right.
You know, I helped a lot of guys in their career. I gave all my techniques away, and I helped out the community I can. And now I'm being, you know, somewhat shunned by some of the guys that I helped build because I went a different route. You know,
Right.
But at the end of the day, my family's more important than these friendships that I thought were friendships that aren't. You know, so I'm doing what's best for me, and yeah, I'm cashing out, baby.
I do it, man.
I'm in it for the money.
Go for gold. I have nothing but positive, you know, vibes for you to go and get it. It's you've perfected a craft. You pretty much opened up a new industry within an industry,
Right.
You know, and whether they like you, with, you know, whatever their comments are doesn't really matter,
Right, because
you're doing what you're doing, and really, like you said, at the end of the day, the most important thing is putting the roof over the head, putting food on the table, you know, taking care of those kids. And that's really what it's all about.
if people just thought the same way that you thought, like we would have less people waking up every morning just trying to shoot people down. Like I don't know when it became a thing. Like when I was growing up, that's never how it was, right? You never had to put something down for you to stand up or to raise yourself up. And now that's like every day.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I'm just, you know, all about staying in your lane, you know, like, you know, I have other friends, you know, I have a friend that's setting us up. We're going to do our first documentary.
Yeah.
And, you know, I talked to her today, and she's giving me an update on when she's going to be in Utah. You know, I don't want to divulge too much.
Right.
I want people to see this because this is going to be like a special thing for what we're going to do. But, you know, she's telling me like, well, yeah, like I went to Arizona and I did a podcast, and like you guys should sync up. And then she, you know, she's dialing the phone. I'm talking to the guy, and he's telling me like, you know, what his environment is and what he's doing. And I'm like, yeah, we're in the same deal. Like, let's collab.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? And like, I don't even know this dude. This dude's in Arizona. You know, but like even like the local podcast here, like go get it.
Right.
You know, there's a space for everyone.
That's just it.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit and talk shit about another podcast. Like that's your vision. That's your art. You go get it. We have ours. We're going to stay in our lane. We're going to get ours.
That's it. And the crazy, you know, like even one of our biggest supporters, I don't know if you've seen Off the Menu podcast.
I have not.
We love them. Tay and his wife, we love them. And they'll bring other podcasters on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, people actually really get this.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about California for so long. I was in Utah for a long time. I'll be honest, I hated the sneaker community here when I was younger. I hated it here because it was always whose junk was bigger, right?
Right.
And it was just people barking back and forth. And so I went to LA, and man, LA, you just seen everyone collaborating.
Yeah.
All the clothing brands you see out there on just anyone in LA, the ones that were really doing stuff is because they were collaborating
Right.
all together. You got there on Fairfax and you see Supreme, you got Bape, and they're all the hundreds out there. They're all doing collabs.
Right.
And the one guy, and I'm not going to put their name out on blast, but the one company that didn't, we'll do this on our own. They're no longer around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a community, and it's like, why do you hate on someone else?
Right.
And especially like you said it best, like the people that are hating on you have never bought your shoe.
Right.
And like we talked earlier about like the Tiger Woods Charlie thing.
Yeah.
Like they're talking shit on a little 12-year-old kid who can out golf them.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's like
by a kid.
But like look at yourself in the mirror, like you're literally talking shit on a 12-year-old kid. Like who are you to do that?
And it's usually when it comes to like I seen all the hate because I really didn't get it. I just started getting into golf, and I go and I look at like Tiger's last post or whatever, and Charlie's on there, and you see all these guys that are going, and I look at these guys, I'm like, man, you're probably the dude that gave you a 2-foot gimme. You know what I mean? Hating on this little kid. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's just the culture this day is just hate now. It's you wake up and you want to prove somebody wrong, or you want to be the guy that's calling somebody out because you think it makes you look good. But I hate to tell you, kid, guy, whatever it is, you're the next one. If you play by them rules, you're going to be the next guy where the dude's going to come at you.
Yeah.
And it's just nonsense.
And then how are you going to handle it?
It's just
nonsense.
nonsense.
Like for me, like I just put the hater shades on. I don't even care. Like you're not even in my.
For me, it's rough. I grew up, I fought professionally, whatever. I was a scrappy kid. I was the kid that always was willing to scrap. I was always down.
Right.
And so now as I'm getting older and finally starting to mature, I have to act a certain way and show my kids this.
For sure.
And my PR team's like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't say shit. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I want to say everything. I want to respond back to everyone. I want to come at everybody. And they're just like, shut the fuck. This will pass. There'll be another guy next week. You just continue to do you. And then I just, I did exactly what I was told. And it was a different route for me, but it was amazing, bro. So yeah, I know what it feels like to put them blockers on and just who gives a shit because you don't pay my bills.
No.
You don't, you know what I mean? Like you're nobody in my life. Why would I even?
Right.
And yeah, it's crazy, bro.
But like for me, it's like I've had other people, they're just like, oh, we didn't like this episode. You should have done this, and this better. And I'm like, okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll take it into consideration.
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, you're not sitting here. You don't have 4 cameras
Right.
looking at you. You don't know what it takes to put this together.
An experience. How long you been doing this?
This will be year number 2 coming up.
I don't know too many people that have been doing something for 2 years and have everything down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I don't know anyone for doing stuff for 10 years that doesn't fuck up once.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. We always there's always something, but at the end of the day, you have to love what you do.
Right.
And
I love what I do. That's one thing.
I love my team. You probably, you love your team.
Love my team physically and mentally and I love my team.
It gets you up out of bed. It gets you going. No matter what's going on in your life. Like Lee and I, we have these deep conversations every time we meet in the studio, and it's inspiring to be around other inspired people.
Right. And that's just it, man. I have a solid squad. My son works for me. My son, it's crazy because I seen some comments about my son one time, and that's really like the one finger you don't point at me, right? My kids.
Of course.
But I've kind of let that go. It's the internet. I really don't give a shit what anyone says anymore. But my son would walk some of these other customizers. Like this kid doesn't even announce himself as a customizer, doesn't consider himself a customizer, but he would walk, and I'm talking with a sewing machine, with some paint, just this crazy talented kid, and dudes just want to hate for no reason.
It's just how it's the world. It's the craziest thing in the world.
No, but shout out to my wife, my team. My wife runs everything. She's the one that sets everyone into place. She got my PR team. She's amazing. She's the one that you talk to when you DM. She's the one that sends you your invoice. She's the one that ships you your shoes. She's the one that handles all the problems. She just lets me sit in my garage.
That's good though. I mean, because that's where you're in your element.
Right.
Like if you had to do everything else,
it was horrible.
It would be tough.
I did that for 10 plus years, you know, and at the end of the week, it's like, how long can I do this? My mental state was not great. I miss everything. And that's what I heard too. I think it was Vince Carter. Vince Carter, he was kind of the asshole of the league because he would get an offer and then he'd just, that's cool. Thank you. And then he'd just wait, and people would like, oh, you always wait to the last minute. And he said something like, I missed my daughter's birthday. I missed an anniversary. I missed this. I missed this. Someone has to pay for this.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at because I work Christmas. I work Thanksgiving. I work my birthday. I work my wife's birthday. I work literally every single day. The reason why I built my studio in my garage is because I don't sleep well. I come down at 2 a.m. I might as well get some work done.
Yep.
You know? And so, yeah, someone has to pay for it now.
That's good. And that's how it should be.
That's
I
where
mean,
I'm at.
from start to finish, it's just how this is how you've set this up.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing to see though, you know. What do you have on the schedule coming up?
Oh man. So, this event that we're about to start now, we just got in the works of designing this stuff. This is another collab with Nike. So shout out to Nike, and another official collab with the NBA. So this will be my 3rd year collabing with Nike and NBA. We're about to do a huge fundraiser for autism acceptance.
Okay.
And shout out to the Jazz. Got to, I don't know if I can put all their information out there, but you know who I'm talking about when I talk about this. But they have a son that has autism, and they wanted, you know, like any parent, right?
Of course.
And especially with someone like Scott has a platform. Shout out to Scott. His wife's amazing, but they have a platform. And so for them to get the NBA to jump on board, where every head coach wears a custom pair of sneakers and then again signs it, and then we auction it off and all the proceeds go to autism awareness.
Nice.
That's our next big project right now. So we're just about to buckle down for that. Maurice Allen, I know, bro, you've been texting me for a hot minute. I have another collab with him coming up because he's got some big golf tournament coming up. Dude is probably the most, has the most custom cleats in golf history. No one's got more than him. So I'll get after you right after this, bro. So yeah, we got a few cool projects coming up. And like I said, we just finished my cleats up with the NFL. Me and my boy Tragic, shout out to him. We usually just paint live all for 2 weeks straight.
Okay.
And so that was cool.
Is there a market you haven't got into that you wanted to get into?
Oh man. I think golf was the newest one for me. You know, becoming a golfer, I wanted to get some cleats out there, and Tiger Woods does have a pair of my golf cleats, which was super cool. Local legend Tony and Gipper Finau, my boy Ben, a lot of my guys, they all rock my custom cleats out here. So to see me kind of develop in that world was cool. I don't know what next after that. I think wrestling. My wife wants me to get wrestling with Mosh. I know Mosh. To me, Mosh is the god of customizing, and he has that market down pretty. I'm not coming after your market. I would just love to have someone in a wrestling ring because my wife's big into wrestling. I'm not.
Like WWE type shit?
She loves
Really?
it, bro. She is crazy, and she's like a $1.2, 5, like not even 5 foot. Like she loves. Yeah, it's crazy. So I would love to maybe dip into that and maybe have one of the Bella sisters. I don't even know if they're still wrestling. Sorry, babe, if that's not right. But like the Bella twins, or, you know, someone that she like, loves to have a pair of my shoes on, you know. But I know Mosh has that, and I don't want to disrespect him any round because he does. That dude in my world coming up, he was the dude that inspired me. Right. He was the god, you know, of custom sneakers, and still is to me. You know, he probably doesn't even know I exist. But
have you ever thought about, because you obviously you have your lane, which is the sneaker custom lane. Have you ever thought about getting into anything else?
Yeah, so I do helmets.
Okay.
I've done some helmets. I did a big collab last year with Traeger.
Okay.
We did some Traeger helmets. So I've done helmets. I've done race cars, stuff like that.
What about like clothing?
Yeah, I did clothing. I did clothing for a while.
What's your thoughts on that?
Here's the thing with clothing. Clothing's not really for me. Everyone has a clothing brand, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't start one if you're thinking about it, because there's always that one that stands out, and it could be yours. So if you're thinking about doing it, do it. To me, it's just super saturated. I do some merch. You know what I mean? I do some merch and put out there, I do hoodies. Just make sure everything's high quality. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a hard business. That's like the restaurant business. That's rough.
Yeah.
So much competition.
Lee and I are big on Primo, so, you know, hats off to Primo.
We talked about a collab with them.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's another local company.
Yep. So we talked about doing a collab with Primo. I did an event because, you know, Gipper, shout out to Gip, my guy, he lets me just go represent our golf guys because we've never lost a tournament. Every tournament we've been in, we've won, and it's because of Gip and Ben. But yeah, every hole we go to, Primo was one of them. They gave us a couple shirts, and we talked about doing some stuff. So.
Nice, because I know Phil's no, not Phil. Is it Phil Mickelson? Lee is Primo.
No,
it's
Grant Horvat.
Grant Horvat. Okay, for some reason I thought Phil was a Primo as well, but
no. But yeah, they got cool. Yeah, their stuff's cool, and that's what I love about Utah. I'm starting to see Utah collab more, and more companies come out, and Utah's a thriving state for
It's growing.
entrepreneurs.
It's amazing. Like it's funny. For the longest time, people have this big knock against Utah.
Yeah.
And then
Well, we know what it was. It was the Mormons. That's the big knock.
But like Salt Lake County is not that way though.
Yeah.
You know, Salt Lake County is a lot of diversity now.
Right.
And so it's cool to see like, you know, all these different brands and
Right.
creators like start popping up. But, you know, the thing I always tell people about Utah is, you know, you can knock it
Yeah.
and then you move here
Then you love it.
and then it creeps up on you
Yeah.
and you don't ever want to go anywhere else.
Yeah, Utah's got some. I'm not an outdoorsy guy, so I don't appreciate Utah the way that most should. I'm not a part of the church, but I grew up in West Valley.
Yeah.
That's where the Mormons brought all the polys to Utah. They went
Right.
to West Valley, so
Right.
my roots, all my best friends were all Mormons. You know what I mean?
Same.
I ran with all the poly squads.
You know, me and Colby rep West Jordan, South Jordan, you know, that's the home.
And the poly started to move into West Jordan,
Yep, 100%.
because all them nice rich schools started poaching our players.
That's
you know?
right.
But
By recruiting.
But I grew up here, and the crazy thing is you got to remember, because everyone would always talk about, because my dad's from back east. I spent a lot of time in Chicago growing up, and a lot of people are like, what the fuck's in Utah? Like Utah, I'm like, bro, there's some bad dudes in Utah.
Hell yeah.
Because everyone sends their adolescent kid to Utah to go live with their aunt.
Right.
So we got a bunch of just
Right.
some dudes with some screws loose here.
You're gonna go live that Mormon way.
Yeah, and that's not how it happened.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, I lived in this, I grew up in West Valley back in the 90s, where all 2% of black people lived in West Valley. All the Hispanics lived in West Valley.
Right.
All the
Polynesians.
polys lived in West Valley. So I've been used to that, But yeah, I got a different story than a lot of people that live in Utah. We didn't grow up in a nice neighborhood. We grew up there were gangs in Utah. And people are like, there's gangs in Utah? Why would you need gangs? It's because they brought them here.
No, there's some hardcore gangs here.
You don't mess with the Asians and the polys in Utah. Like,
No,
that's just
man,
it.
no.
Like, but a lot of good people here, and it's nice to see that everyone's kind of getting on their business and their grind.
Right.
Everyone's about that money no more. We're not about fighting, and there's a lot of gun violence. I do a lot of charity for gun violence here. Shout out to Matt Asiata when his son got shot, and his two friends also, and they passed. So I kind of started dipping into charities because our community needs that. Where I'm
100%.
from, I never thought I'd move back to Utah. Back to West Valley.
Right.
And I told my wife, like, we have to. We came back and lived in North Salt Lake, and we got to move to West Valley because we can't help with the city if we're not visually seeing what's going on. And it's 14-year-old kids carrying guns.
Right.
Not just carrying them, but they're actually shooting each other with them.
Well, it's like one thing if you live in Park City and you're like trying to do this like
Right.
charity thing, but
That's
when
what I
you
didn't wanna
live
be.
right in the middle of it,
Yeah.
like you're part of that community.
I'm 5 years deep back into a city I swore I would never move in because of the way it is. I grew up, my whole life in West Valley, and I'm back there now, and I love it, and I love the community, and there's just something different about West Valley because the parents, we raise our kids together,
Right,
I
right.
live in a cul-de-sac where there's a poly every other house, and their kids are playing with my kids, and they all play on the same basketball team. They all go to Hunter.
Yep.
And shout out to the Hunter basketball team.
Hunter
And,
High. I got all my stepsisters went,
Yeah,
or
so-
two of my stepsisters went there.
So I went there. My wife went there. So shout out to Hunter. My son's on the JV team there.
Nice.
But I just wanted to move back there to help with my community, and I can do that through shoes. When Matt's son got shot, I did a 24-hour live where I painted on Instagram 24-hour live.
Damn.
And I hit up everyone that I've ever done stuff from. So shout out to like Darren Williams, Nick Ramundo, because all these guys that I've ever done anything for, they donated either a jersey or some gloves that were signed. And every half an hour, me and my wife, during this 24-hour live, we would auction this off, like these items off. And all proceeds, when I tell you all proceeds that we do any charity event, we add money of our own, and we donate all proceeds to whatever that
So
cause
it's like
is.
a real deal.
I don't take 10%. I chose to do it.
Right.
I didn't need to be paid to do it. I did it because it's my community.
Right.
And so, we did a 24-hour live, and a lot of the guys that I do stuff for sent me items to auction off, and me and my wife chose to do it in $5 increments
Okay.
because we come from a city that doesn't have a lot of money.
Right.
And we didn't want to do these $100 buy-ins because my city doesn't have that kind of money just to throw out $100 every auction to try to win something.
You didn't want to do the Trump $2,700 a plate type deal.
No, we don't have that community there. And I wanted my people to show out because Matt's from West Valley. He also went to Hunter, played for the U, and then went to the Vikings. So I wanted my city to be able to support him because he was a hometown hero. So
Right.
we chose to do all auctions $5 buy-ins.
Okay.
You know, because I knew my city wanted to show up, and we raised a lot of money in 24 hours.
That was probably a huge success.
And it was, and what was crazy, we had 64,000 people through the live. You know, to have that many people on a live, we had people in Africa sending money to these kids, you know, from Africa. Like, hey, we love what you're doing. Here's $10. You know what I mean? Like, it was absolutely amazing.
And that's where it's at. I mean, it's always the grassroots stuff,
right?
Always, you know. But that's cool though. You know, you're giving back to the community. Salt Lake's a special place, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to describe Salt Lake.
That's Post Malone. He said it too.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. Yeah. You know, I've done a little bit of work at his house before.
Yeah, his little garage thing, the little wall.
Yeah. He's a good dude. His dad is a phenomenal person.
I got a FaceTime from his dad, Rich.
Did you?
Rich, one day.
Yeah.
He heard that I was doing a bunch of stuff for the Cowboys, and I guess he watched one of my videos on Instagram where they sent me a helmet. Shout out to my boy, Simi Fiocco. He's the one that got me in line with all that, but he'd get helmets sent to me for doing the My Cause My Cleats for him. And then I guess Rich, his dad, he also used to work for the Cowboys for 15 years.
Yeah, vending guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he heard that I had these helmets and these footballs autographed by the team and asked me if I'd sell them. And then I told him, you know, none of it's for sale. This is all stuff that I've done through my career. But I do have a pair of cleats that were for Dak. They're custom cleats, but he went out with the ankle injury.
Right.
And so I had these cleats, and he was doing something with Post. Austin and him had something going on where they bought like a bunch of navigators. They were buying it from one of my boys' dealerships. And he just FaceTime. He's like, "Can I buy these?" I'm like, "Nah, man, they're not for sale, but I have a pair of cleats. You know, hit me when you get back." He never ended up hitting me up. So Rich, if you see this, I still got a pair of cleats for you, buddy. So if you need them, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Post. I mean, he's always repping Utah.
Yeah, always, bro.
But now I'm hearing he's going back to Texas.
No. Last time that I heard any of my guys that talked to him said that no, he's not leaving.
No,
Utah.
Is he still in Cottonwood Heights?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he just added some more.
That's like that little secret compound that people don't know about unless you know about
bunkers, His homies, and then his little. I'm not going to say what his wall said because I'll never put out anybody's business. But this little wall with the beanie sack couch.
I just remember pulling up to the gate and the guy, you know, security guy's like, you know, what are you here for? And we tell him, and the gate opens and you pull in, and then you just see the row of white cars.
Yeah, and you got to go through the neighborhood. Like it's not, you kind of feel like you're driving on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like where you're not supposed to be.
Yep, 100%.
And then you pull up to the gate that says no camera.
Yep.
You know, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to sign like NDAs and the whole nine. It's just like, you know, so I can't reveal where he is. I just tell you general area.
I mean, you could look it up all over the net. It's out there, but you're not getting in, guys.
I promise you, you're not.
That's a bunker.
And they're big gun guys, so don't fuck around.
They're all, bro, he's a huge gun guy. Like that dude walks around Salt Lake City with strapped, open carry.
Here's a funny story. I've never personally met Austin. I've just met his dad.
Right.
But my brother is a huge Post Malone fan. So we got done working one night. We were in downtown, and we went down to shout out to Gallinson's best gun store in the valley.
Yep.
So we pull up. I pull in the back, and we get out, and there's this black Bentley SUV.
Uh-huh.
And my brother's like, "Damn, look at that car!" And I was like, "I know, it's a nice car." He's like, "Who do you think's here?" And I was like, "I know who's here."
Yeah.
He's like, "Who? A jazz player?" I'm like, "No, come on, you're gonna be shocked." And so we walk in, and he goes to one counter, and they don't literally like rope it off, but my understanding, and this is what the guy at Gallinson said, is you can go and ask for an autograph.
Right.
We ask you that you don't do that. He's in the process of buying, and every time he comes in, it's $25K at least.
Right.
And so
don't fuck with their money.
Yeah.
So, do it on the way out after we get paid.
So I love to reload. That's my for a time there, I haven't done it in a while, but that was my thing. That was like my zen was, because it's all really processed. It's it's mind numbing, but it takes your brain away from everything.
Right.
So I'm there buying all my supplies, and my brother's like, "Oh my God, look, it's Post Malone."
Yeah.
And I look over, and he's like, I'm telling you, dude, white cowboy hat, white cowboy suit. He's got his girl next to him.
Yeah.
He's got the 2 6-shooters on his hip.
Yep.
And I'm like, go ask for an autograph. He's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, go ask for one. He's like, really? I'm like, he's a down-to-earth dude. Like, he's going to do it.
Good dude.
And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. So then we're in line, and my brother, he's talking to the cashier, and he's like, is that really Post Malone? He's like, yeah, it's really Post Malone.
Yeah. No, it just looks like
and then he tells her, like, don't do the autograph. We don't want you doing that. But so we didn't, and then we get in the car and we're driving away, and he's just like, man, I wish I would have got an autograph.
Yeah.
I'll turn it around right now.
Right.
I'm like, do you want the autograph?
Right.
I'm like, do you want me to go get you your autograph?
Right.
He's like, no. It'd just be cool if I went and got a picture and everything. So we flipped around.
Yeah.
He went in and got his picture.
That's what's up. That's
you know what
a
I
dope
mean?
story.
Like he was just like
He's
through.
never gonna forget that day.
Hell no.
And that's what Post is about too. Like I see Austin. So Austin has a big heart for, just like anyone else, for kids with autism. I have a daughter that has Down syndrome and she's autistic.
Okay.
And so when I seen that video that went viral of him with the kid with autism, for me as a father of a child with autism,
That hits home.
bro, it's tear jerky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's my soft spot is kids. That's why all my charity stuff is targeted towards kids.
Right.
Because man, these kids need help.
They do.
need
And
help.
it's crazy. Like I have a half sister that, unfortunately I don't speak to anymore.
Right.
She's got 4 kids and 3 of them are autistic.
Oh man.
And one of them is like full blown.
When I say, oh man, I it's not because you ended up, I'm not saying it's a bad deal.
No, but
3 kids with autism is a lot of work.
It's a tough deal.
That's why I say, oh man, because I have one, but I also have a wife
Right.
that is so dedicated to her and my other kids
Right.
that I don't have to sit here and lose my mind dealing with them. My daughter is high functioning. She speaks 3 languages. She has silent, and it's all because of my wife. My wife is such a good mom. But yes, having kids with autism, Down syndrome, it is a tough gig.
For sure.
It is a blessing for sure because you'll never have so much joy in your life, but it's a tough gig. So 3, that's a tough job.
I hear we were tagging him in. Is that
Yeah,
true?
we got a special guest coming on.
Are we tagging him in?
Big Hambino.
Oh, there he is.
See everybody.
Shout out to the big KSlicks. Damn, here you go.
Everybody, good to be here.
Put your headset
What up,
on.
Kobe?
Grab that microphone.
Let's do it.
This is right up your alley. You got to put it close to your mouth. You like that, so grab that mic.
thing to wing around. Yeah, you'll have to do it.
Oh, you're good. You're
I
good.
don't want to break nothing.
Let that drop.
We good?
We good.
Hear me?
He's
All
tagging
right.
in.
You can't be moving the furniture, Kobe. What are you doing?
That's my
Hey,
bad.
turn a little bit towards the couch.
How many shots of tequila did
You
he
got
have
the
before? he jumped in
cameras
here?
set up.
Whoa, bro.
Look at the table.
Hey, hold on.
There you go.
I got the handler coming and helping you out.
I got him. We're good.
Pull
we
that
good?
pull that mic up a little bit more. Don't be scared.
The big Hambino. Guys, I met this guy in a
Mix.
parking lot.
Let's hear the
right.
story.
Parking lot of the gym.
Let's
That's
hear that
right.
story.
Chair over towards the couch, bro.
There you go.
Come this way.
All right.
You're good right there.
Real simple. I was posting up some shoes. It was a pair of black metallic.
Hold on. He's downplaying this a little bit. Let me just tell you a little bit about my guy over here. This dude is a grinder. When I tell you this is what kids are missing, kids aren't being taught what has this is filled right here. This guy is a grinder. This dude hustles. I see him posting shoes every single day. So when he says he wasn't posting shoes. This dude was hustling. He was hustling a pair of it was 2017
Black
metallic
fives.
fives, which is one of my favorite sneakers. My son loves them with white laces. I love them with black. But he had a pair, and they was clean.
Yeah.
It was true, and the price was money. I think it was like $225, something right around there.
He's right
around
there.
there, yeah.
This is what kills me. This dude, every time I see him, I always think of Biggie Smalls. It was just a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Yeah, he's a hustler.
You know,
That's my boy right there, though.
a T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape, baby.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. But yeah, I met him in a random parking lot. I think it was at a gym, like a Vasa or something.
It was a Vasa in West Jordan.
Yeah, and he showed me his appreciation for the steel and everything. He pulled up in the Rover. I'll never forget it.
Oh yeah.
And we established that relationship since day one. By the way, I'm Kobe Ham, sole proprietor,
KSlicks.
CEO, Lace City Souls LLC, right out of Salt Lake City, baby. I specialize in selling Bigfoot, big size shoes, for the big dick motherfuckers.
That's how we met, because he got them. Yeah, that's size 13.
12, right?
That's
That's
yeah,
size 13.
big dick motherfuckers, because that's who I am and that's what I care about. There you go.
There it is.
That's my guy. I've been knowing Kobe for years now, right? About 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And I know Swanee since I was fucking 12. We're talking
Anything.
pre-puberty.
Everything. Little League football.
Before Kobe was into dudes.
Peach Fuzz posse, baby.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah,
man.
yes.
I remember we were on the same team, and he was, I was playing running back when I was a little bit slimmer. He's on the line, and I remember telling him just mid-game, I'm all, open up the fucking hole, and he would go blow this hole open, and there I'd go.
That's right.
And it
That's
just
right.
ever since then. And then I feel like because we had a tight knit group of from middle school to high school.
Yeah.
Normally you get like middle schools beefing against each other.
Right,
We didn't have that.
Right.
We had like
I had that. That's what we
like
did.
Colby and I were like the ambassadors. Like he introduced his crew, I introduced my crew, and we had this big crew. And from the second we walked into Copper Hills High School, 2001, we fucking ran that shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Shout out to our parents though, because that's why we had the groups back then, because
Right.
we had stable parents.
That's right.
To where we lived in the same neighborhood growing up, so you got to stay by your homies.
Yeah. That's right.
Now we're moving our kids around 3-4 times in
Right.
middle school, so they, you know what I mean? They don't get that. So shout out to our parents.
Yeah. Shout out. Yeah, for real. I agree with you 100%.
Definitely. Shout out to Colby's mom.
Right.
I'll be seeing her a little bit later tonight.
Damn. We on that kind of podcast.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Tell her I said hello.
Hey,
But
she
you
hot
know-
though? Is his mom hot though?
No, that's just an inside joke. between him
But she's
and I.
not hot though. She's just.
She, I know.
Are we too old to be playing that
we
joke
were
now?
talking about my mom on the
I'm
podcast.
going to
now.
tell you what right now. This guy had like, everyone was always Colby's mom. Colby's mom.
So your mom
Colby's
was hot. Because we're at that age now where our mom, we're four. I'm in my 40s, so now we're getting to where my mom's, she's, if I'm 40 and I'm the youngest, you know what I mean. Moms are too old to be hot now, but back in the day, your mom was the hot mom.
I guess so. Apparently.
Speaking of that, real quick, shout out to Pam Post. I just found out my childhood friend passed away, Matt Sterrett. He just passed last night. I just talked to his mom today. She was like mom number 2 growing up. So shout out to her because she was the hot mom. I know that's probably inappropriate to put them two together, but you was the hot mom, Pam. But I'm so sorry for your loss. Matt was one of my best friends growing up. So shout out to Matt.
Yeah.
Shout out to this guy. This guy made this happen tonight.
Yes.
My guy.
Thank
He's
you, man. Appreciate
he's
it.
connected.
It's been in the works for quick.
It has.
Just
but
hadn't lined up.
But he's the connector. Like we had another person that was going to come on and didn't show up. And that's all good. But no, like thank you to him for making this happen. For
And filling
It's
in.
all about building relationships, networking, and everything.
right.
And
That's right.
so we can all eat. We can all have fun. I'm just a full-figured father trying to make $1 out of 15 cents.
Oh, here we
And
go.
his OnlyFans will be pinned at the bottom.
Exactly, baby. Subscribe to me.
We call him Footjoy.
Hey, but I see this nice ass designer fucking backpack sitting here. What you got in there? I think you got.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
honest,
Yeah,
I
we
totally
forgot about
that.
them.
Yeah.
We get lost in convo.
Yeah, I think you got some fire in that bag. It wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah. There's only 2 products I mess with right now, and honestly, I wish I would have pulled out the other one. But the only 2 I mess with, Louis Vuitton's kind of on the back burner. But Andar, shout out to Andar, they make great bags. I wish I would have brought the one, but I only mess with MCM and Andar because they're both high quality leathers, amazing stuff. But yeah, I did bring a little something.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So I will talk about this first before I pull it out. I will say this is not my original design. Shout out to Tragic1993 on Instagram. That's my brother for life. This was his original design. I just kind of did a 2.0 version, but we did it together. And it all started because I wanted him to make me a pair, and he basically told me to go fuck myself. Now, I've told this story before, but he really did tell me to go fuck myself. You make your own.
Yeah.
Because he knew I was capable.
Right.
But I kind of wanted to step it up a little bit because he designed it, and it was years, right? It was years before. So we were like, all right, we need to do a 2.0 on this shoe. And I'll kind of go over what I changed from his original design. But yeah, this shoe did really well. We sold out, and I think, babe, it was like 8 minutes. We sold out on the website for this shoe.
Damn.
And so yeah, we'll take it. We'll talk through what changes we made to Tragic's original pair. But this is the Air Max 90, which is one of my favorite Air Maxes of all time.
Although you are not an Air Max fan, right?
No, I'm an Air Max.
Okay.
By 90% of my collection.
Air Max. I mean, could elaborate.
you
It's
said
not just
earlier.
an Air Max. We're
No,
talking here.
I'm an Air Max guy.
Okay.
Air Max 1s and Air Max 90s for my guys out in the UK. These are for the people in the ends. 90s are for the ends, the drug dealers.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The 1s are king, but the 90s, they're a little bit more sporty. And Tragic hit it on the nail, on the head on this one because I've seen some other customizers do the Air Mag custom on an Air Max 1, and it just isn't the business, bro. It's it's like putting a Mercedes-Benz grill on like a 300C. Just doesn't work. So the 90 was the perfect shoe. Now, the things that I did change, again, shout out to Tragic for even letting me redo this and then also sell them you know.
Right.
The first thing I will point out, I'm a Jordan 1 tongue lover. Every Air Max custom I've ever done got a Jordan 1 tongue. So
Okay.
if you didn't notice it, that's a Jordan 1
Right.
tongue.
That's right.
Jordan 1 tongue tag because I hate the Air Max tag, that big square thing.
Yeah,
I hate the tongue.
Uh-huh.
I hate how round it is. I just hated the tongue. So Jordan 1 tongue. Jordan 1 tongue tag. That was the first thing. Then specifically on this shoe, I removed the plastic eye stays and I replaced them with leather because the Air Mag, the original Air Mag, is pretty smooth. You know, it's pretty sleek. And this is not.
So that's all custom leather.
Yeah, so this is all custom. All the eye stays are custom leather sewn in. Remove them plastic pieces. One thing else I did too is I made the air bubble wedge translucent. I put this coat on here that makes it almost look like the original Air Mag, where it has that
The window.
I forget the color, that blue, indigo blue.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to replicate it on this one because with it being left white, I thought it was kind of boring. It was kind of too simple, so I added that. And then of course he just did what we all did back then. We just took a paintbrush and flicked paint on it. Where I actually wanted to kind of do these little sperm looking guys that were on the original mag, right? To kind of make it look more like the mag. And then I texturized it as well. If you feel that, it's texturized. It's not smooth.
Oh shit.
Got that sperm look, baby.
So Angelus has a product that I use to do that, and it's a filler. And so basically it's like Bondo for a shoe. You can use it on leather, you can use it on whatever. But I took that and found a way to texturize this midsole. And as you can see, guys, I wear the heck out of this shoe. Yeah. And it's still, you know, I did this shoe probably 4 years ago.
Yeah, let's flame those up, man. You're
so-
killing me with the anticipation.
He's like,
No,
just
no,
ready
it's
to go.
good. I like
Flame 'em up.
knowing this.
God.
And then Kingsland, of course, with the
teasing
insoles,
me
the
here.
Kingland insoles, best insoles you'll ever get. Shout out to them for sending me these. They sent me a bunch of insoles that everybody gets every time they buy a custom pair of shoes. I did custom insoles. So if you look in there, there's Marty McFly
Yeah.
sitting next to
Yeah,
the
that's
DeLorean
so
wearing the
so
mags.
sick.
We'll get pictures and I'll throw that up too.
So we'll grab them. And then, of course, just the custom paint. And then custom heel tabs.
Yeah, that
This
heel
has the Air Mag heel tab. For me, that was a must, right? So shout out to
Right.
my man Tragic. But yeah,
And you
go.
you
Look
got
at
the
that
lights.
shit. That is fucking amazing.
so
so
you got
fire.
your
That
you got
shit,
your
bro.
green, your yellow, and your red lights, and they're on the inside. You can see them. They're on the inside of the shoe.
Right.
And then we light it up with a battery pack. So it's basically just a watch battery.
Okay.
And it's underneath the insole. You just lift up the insole every time. This battery, I've only today was the first day I replaced them because he's like, bring them shoes. I gotta make sure they light up.
Right.
I've only put 2 batteries in this thing. You know what I mean? So because there's not a lot of power being sucked out of that battery, so it lasts quite a long time. It's easy to change.
So
But
when
yeah.
you wear those, I would imagine the comments you get
Oh.
are unbelievable.
Well, I went to a Jazz game in these, and Ryan Smith walked over. He's wearing some Louis Vuitton trainers.
Okay.
And asked me what size I was. He wanted to do a trade. And then I met a good friend, Michael McHenry was there, and then my boy, which I love this man to death, Kyle Nilsson, NBA elf. They both purchased it from me. That I didn't even launch them that day. I just wore them out. It was January 1st, first day of the year. We went and watched. Me and my wife went and watched Golden State, and we had some shoes that were going to be on the court that night, so we went and watched them. But yeah, I sold 2 pairs sitting on the front row that night. So yeah, they are definitely conversation starters.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I remember the day that he finished those. I was at his house. I immediately said, "How much?" He goes, "You can't afford it." I walked back to my station wagon with my head down. I tell you what.
Yeah, these sold for $1,500, and I think we did 8 pairs or maybe 15 pairs. I can't remember. I think we did 15
You
pairs.
got any variations coming up on those or?
I thought about doing a black version of
be
this
dope.
shoe, kind of like a Carnage to a Spider-Man shoe.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a black
Yeah.
pair. And doing a crazy matte black. And so I've been working on some paint. It's that new 2.0, the darkest black paint.
Right.
I've been using a product to kind of make it flexible.
I'll tell you what, dude. If you did a black with the silver, you would be
Right?
making a ton of Raider
be
fans
sick.
sweat.
Hey, isn't when you cop one of those, you got the hoverboard? I swear.
So
you got
yeah,
the
so
hoverboard.
when you
Yeah,
when
talk
you
about
ordered this,
that.
you actually got a hoodie, a black hoodie, which was a championship. It was the reverse weave, and it had embroidered the logo from the movie cover,
Okay.
embroidered on the sweater. And then I took the hoverboards and I drilled holes in them and made them into a shelf. So the board was a
Oh.
floating shelf.
So you could
So
actually
could
put the
set
shoes on.
the shoe on the
exactly.
board.
That's
Yep.
dope.
So
Saying.
and that was kind of the changes that I made with the 2.0 because
Right.
Tragic, you can still get these from Tragic. Tragic does offer these. I think they're $650, and he does still sell. This dude slings a ton of these because he's the original creator, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So he slings a lot of these. So if you go to his page, Tragic 1993, you can actually cop a pair from him. He's still making them.
Did he want to fight you after you did all your upgrades?
No, you know what? Tragic's a dude like we talked about, right? Where
Right.
you have a guy on your team that just wants to see you eat.
Right.
And so, and the crazy thing is Tragic's also the type of dude, if he was sitting over there starving, he would not say shit about you over here throwing food away.
Right.
Like he just wants to see people win.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, no, he was all about it, man. He thought it was so sick. So, no, shout out to him. But yeah, this was probably one of my greatest. This will probably go down. This and the Freddy Cougar, which also was originally one of Tragic 1993's.
He showed me
original
the
design.
Freddy
Oh, yeah.
over at the.
Freddy's are bananas.
Oh my! Just the amount of money he wanted for those. I was like,
Yeah.
damn,
Right.
dude.
That's right.
What do you want? Like 100K or something like that?
Well, for the original SB, I mean.
Oh, for the SB, who had him?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was the shoe store, the one in Fashion Place.
And he had an
Oh,
original pair?
Douse might have had a pair of the Krugers.
Yeah, he had them
At one
all.
point.
100K
They're
is
gone.
crazy,
They're
though.
gone now.
Oh,
Though.
I'm sure.
Not for
Yeah.
100K, they might,
Yeah.
though.
Right.
They didn't go for 100K. That's
Nah.
crazy. Here's the thing about the sneaker world, too. You see all these videos now of people, let me cash you out, 80 bent. Bro,
Right.
they just all talk, bro.
Right.
But you can't hate on it because that dude's going to get a ton of views and can get paid. But you just got to know the difference between reality and sneaker world.
Right. It's all for the gram.
And there's dudes out there that are cashing. I'm not saying there's not. There's dudes out there, you know. Kobe Smurda, he's another dude that I know that dude is crazy. He's like you. That dude just grinding all the time. So I know there's dudes that are really cashing out.
This guy's just buying people's collections.
Yeah, that's the way to do it too. So
You know, I got 30 pairs. Come take a look. Next thing I know, he's like popping his trunk and there's 30 pairs of shoes. I'm like,
he
damn.
needs to borrow the truck from another shoe page. Go get
That's right.
go get his truck, his box truck to go. I think he's got his van now, Sprinter van.
All right.
You need to go borrow that on them buyouts.
Yep. Shout out to Keegan.
Well, yeah, that dude's a hustler too, bro. I love that guy. He's a good dude. Everyone over there, Mo, all them dudes over
Yeah,
there.
and see that's the thing. It's a smaller market being here in Salt Lake City in the shoe culture, but you know a lot of us are tight knit. A lot of us know each other for years. We do favors for each other back and forth. There's a lot of
100%.
reciprocation. And there's a lot of love there, and so because of that, we're all able to win. We're all able to be successful in this industry. So shout out to everybody who's contributing locally to this culture and
And you know, if that's not you, don't fucking take credit for you because there's
Yeah.
a lot of fucking haters too.
yeah, there is.
You
That
know
ain't
who
for
you are if
everybody.
you're contributing to the
Yeah.
growth.
That ain't for everybody.
He was telling me today, he posts and then he'll get the people that are like, man, I want those shoes. And he like tells them the price and then he like, you know, you want those shoes? And they come back and they're like, no, my wife won't let me buy them. It's like, what the fuck you even reaching out for
the
then?
wife hit the veto
Yeah.
on that,
I'm
bro.
like,
You know what's crazy is I always talk shit about the dudes that have to ask their wife, but guess what? I'm one of them.
That's right.
But here's the thing, and the reason why is because I work for my wife. My wife is my boss. My wife signs the checks. My wife runs the money because
here's
that's the deal we made,
That's
right?
that's a different story though.
But yeah, I'm not
Not
gonna
everybody
say.
has that dynamic.
Yeah,
at
but
home, you know?
I'm not gonna hit up a dude, say, you know, hey, how much are these, and then to be like, oh, let me ask my wife. You know what I mean?
That's
I'm
just so lame, dude.
I make sure my wife has an allowance already. But she said, "All right, you got $300 to spend. I'm gonna go spend my $300."
Yeah.
Your ass is walking around barefoot because your wife said no.
Hell, my wife over there walking, she just got Superman 4s, bro.
Damn.
That's what's
In
great
her
about
size?
having a wife that loves sneakers too, because she was into shoes before me.
Okay.
Right. So if I can't find it in my size or the crazy price in my size,
Yeah.
sometimes she wears a size 4 men's. So sometimes it's cheaper in her size. I ended up finding a pair of Supermans. I think we paid $2,000 for them. And Superman 4s in her size. And I'm just like, I don't have them, but my wife does.
Yeah.
So it kind of counts. It kind of
Hey,
counts.
can we talk about what's the 5 like top iconic sneakers of all time?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
definitely. You got to talk about the
Lee, you direct this show, bud.
Yeah.
If that's the route we're going.
So we having everyone pick their top 5s, or what are we
Yeah,
doing?
just your top 5. It could be any sports too. Like you can mix it up, basketball.
Okay.
I don't know the sneakers. I buy what he shows me, so I'm out on this. I'll let you guys do your thing.
I mean, you can still have a top 5.
Yeah, you can have
The
a top-
shoes on your foot. I
Yeah,
mean,
Jordan. I don't know the names of them. They just look good.
Well, you got the DB14s on right now.
Yeah, I do.
Fucking Nothing cheap.
I
That's
got
for
the
sure,
what is it?
bro.
The Oreo Jordans.
Yeah, you got some Oreos. You got some Cool Gray 11s at the house.
Oh, them Cool
You know,
Grays.
collection.
Cool Grays
And
are
then
nice.
I got the Jeters. You got me the
Oh,
Jeters.
Jeters.
Right.
The Jeter 11s?
Yeah.
Once the blues?
Yeah, the 11 lows.
Okay,
Yeah,
love
those
them.
for 'em.
That's a good
Yeah.
shoe.
And then what else?
Reeboks never get a lot of love, but what about the
Check,
questions?
check my page, bro. I'm a Reebok guy. I
Yeah.
love Reeboks.
The
Questions were
questions,
cool.
like-
The only problem with the questions, the answers, when I took like probably 4 pairs back to Foot Locker back in the day. I was just barely getting out of high school at that time. Maybe I might have been my last year, 2 years into high school, whatever. But it would always get the sweat mark across the toe. And I don't even have sweaty feet. I would admit I'm not a stinky foot guy. But
On
you would
the
get
answer
this
or the question?
on the. Oh, maybe it was the questions. The questions.
Questions had
Questions,
the
the red with the
different
zipper.
colored toes.
Yep.
Right.
No. Answers. It had the red toe, the black toe, and that was it for the answers. Because remember, it had this metal face on the bottom.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
had this metal face and it had the zipper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
so-
so the
Swan-
first.
yeah, you had those.
It would
back
get the sweat across, and you get this line right here. And once it was there, it wouldn't go away. So I'd wear them for 2 weeks and then take them back to Foot Locker and get a new pair.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I'm a Reebok guy. I love Reebok classics. I love Reeboks. I'm a guy that
What
loves.
about the Reebok pumps?
I had a few pumps, but I wasn't a basketball guy back then.
No.
Do you customize any pumps?
You know what?
That's not really in the conversation of iconic shoes, really. I mean,
You know what though?
They
But
came
it
and
is,
gone, bro.
But the crazy thing is it is iconic because no matter who, guys have been in it for 10 years.
We know the
Guys
pumps.
have been in it for 10 years. You know the
the
So
pump.
it's
That-
got to be iconic.
I guess you're right.
Right?
We
Hey,
know.
It just
the-
wasn't iconic for
When
the right
D
reason.
Brown
Right.
won that dunk contest, they were popping.
Shout out to
And he
D Brown.
he
with the
deflated the
no-look.
pump after.
Yep.
No look dunk. Oh yeah.
Yep. D Brown. Didn't he passed away to practice, right?
No, that was Reggie Lewis, right?
No. I could have swore it was D Brown. He had a heart attack on the court at a practice.
That was Reggie Lewis.
Was it?
Yeah.
I
He was a
better
Celtic
Google.
too.
Can we Google
yeah,
that?
D Brown.
No, I think it was.
Kicking, I think.
No, D Brown didn't.
Yeah.
I could have. Oh, man, my bad, D Brown. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
They're gonna be sending condolences to D Brown tomorrow.
All right, but let's hear your guys' top 5.
Here's the thing. You want my top 5 personal best sneakers? You want top 5 iconic sneakers just in the
Yeah, like your personal, like
Oh, okay. Personal. First one is going to be the Jordan 11 because that's what brought me into Jordans. I was an Air Force One guy first. Shout out to my brother Mo. That was the podcast that I did, and right after he passed away, he bought me my first pair of Jordan 11s. I thought that Jordans were ugly. I was an Air Force One guy. He bought me the playoff 11s. They were fake. We didn't know it though, but they were fake. But I fell in love with them. You know, that was the 11 was like my into. So first shoe, Jordan 11. Second shoe is going to be the Nike Barrage. The Nike Barrage because that was the very first shoe I bought that made me love sneakers. I was going in 7th grade. It was this exact same color that I have now on my foot. I bought this in 7th grade. I had $100 to spend. This cost me $69, which I also bought this pair for. So second shoe.
Bless you.
Bless you.
bless you.
Bless me. Thank you. Third shoe, South Beach LeBron 8. I think that was, man, and being a size 13, that shoe was hard to buy. It was $1,000 sneakers. And back then, $1,000 on a pair of sneakers was crazy. Like, not so much now, but back then that was wild. The pink, the suede on the laces, like around the lace box, like that, the lace panels. 2 pairs of laces. Come on. That to me was like, oh, that was perfection. I love that shoe. The quality was amazing. So number 3, LeBron 8, South Beach. Number 4 is probably going to have to be the Jordan 4 Bling. I don't know if you've got not too many people familiar with the Bling. A lot of people think it's the Pure Money. It's from 2000. It's the Bling. It doesn't have any mesh. It's all leather. It looks like the Columbias. It looks like the Oreos, the original ones from 1999.
It's the 4 you said?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the Jordan 4 Bling. It came out in 2000. A lot of things I don't like about the shoe, but that's what makes me love the shoe. Like, it doesn't have a tongue tag. It's embroidered.
It's all white, right?
It's all white. And if you look at the tongue tag, the Jordan Jumpman is embroidered on, and it's super, like it sticks out like an ½ inch. And his ass cheeks are ginormous. You could swipe a credit card. Like, it is bad. But the quality of that shoe was so nice. So that would be my number 4. And then my number 5 shoe would probably be the Yeezy Red October. and only because what Yeezy's done in the game. Like, I'm a big fan of Yeezy. I know a lot of people think he's
Got the
batshit
Yeezys
crazy,
right now.
but I'm a Red October fan.
Yeezy's my guy. Shout out to all the Geminis.
Wow. I don't know about the Geminis, but Yeezy, I'm down with you.
Yeah.
I just love what he's done. I mean, first non-athlete to sign a deal with Nike. You know what I mean? Like, he did so many things for the culture. That shoe still probably one of the highest resold shoes in the game. Once I'm ready to sell mine, two pairs.
I'm ready.
I might let one or two go. I still have a good friend, D Will. I still got D Will sitting over at my house. I need to move to. They're actually dead stock in a box. But yeah, so that's my fifth shoe.
Damn, that's crazy. This
Let's
guy's
hear yours.
name dropping like Kanye out here. For me, I like for me, my number one is probably the Chicago one, just because it started it all. You know, like it literally jump started, revolutionized the whole game. It's an iconic pair. You know exactly where it is and where it came from, and it's the OG. So I'll probably go with that. Number two, I'm definitely going to go with the 11s. I'm just like with this guy. Whether it's the playoff joints or the Cool Gray is probably my favorite when Jordan was in the Wizards, rocking those, playing in those before he retired. I love the 11s, the patent leather. There's just something about that
It's
look.
a sexy
man.
shoe,
Just
like
look good.
Tinker. It's a Cadillac, bro.
Yeah, it is. It's
beautiful.
Very nice. Number three, I'm gonna have to go with the fours. I just love fours. Fours are so damn iconic, as well as far as like whether it's the bread fours or even going as far as the Superman DB fours that he just referenced that his girl got. Like, those are just fucking amazing. I like the black cats. I like the white cements. I like the breads. I like the DBs, dude. I like all those joints, bro. Also the Eminem Carhartt fours are fucking.
Oof. I like the
Forget about
Superman
it.
one better though.
Yeah.
I'll take the blue joints over there.
Yeah.
Undefeated. So let's just talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
Undefeated 4 being released to the public. I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of hate, a lot of people talking shit on Nike for that. Guys, you want that shoe. You always say that Nike doesn't give you what you want. They give you what you want, a grail that you would have never got in your life, and you're going to shit on them for it. Nike, drop 250,000 pairs at my house.
Yeah.
Because
Motherfuckers
I'll wear
never have
every
to.
single one of them because I'm going to have 4 pairs.
Yeah, for sure. Number 4. Oh man, that's a really tough one. I'm going deep here. I'd probably have to go with the 3s because then it's just that iconic look. Shout out to Tinker Hatfield, man. I like the white cements, black cements, the true blues, and go all day. I mean, they're just fire. They're shoes that look
So
dope.
many dope colorways.
Shorts and pants and everything. And number 5, I'm going to throw you for a loop here on this one. And I'm going to tell you because this impacted me. Number 5's got to be the Ultra Boost, bro. I have over 40 pairs. They're the most comfortable shoe I've ever had. It's a cloud on the bottom, a sock on the top, and you are comfortable all day long. I love Ultra Boost. I got the slides, the shoes, all across the board, every damn colorway, every color of the goddamn rainbow.
You
because
like
they're
my boy
comfy,
Tragic. He
bro.
talks about Ultra Boost all day long. We just had this conversation
Comfy,
2
dude.
days ago.
They're
I
so
hate the Ultra
comfy,
Boost.
bro.
I hate Ultra Boost. Them shits. You know what? Moo-moos look comfy too, but I ain't gonna wear a moo-moo, bro. I bet a skirt's hella comfortable, but I ain't about to put on a
Adidas
skirt.
need to make a moo-moo.
Now,
Adidas, yo, make a moo-moo.
What I'm saying though is the Ultra Boost is not. It's not as ugly as I just made it. It's just not my thing. You know what I mean, Presto is more my vibe.
Yeah.
So I like the Prestos a little bit more, but the Ultra Boost technology was super dope because the Ultra Boost and Kanye West single-handed saved Adidas.
Yeah.
Them 2 items right there. So I'll give the technology out. That's dope, but I just couldn't mess with the shoes, bro.
But I want to just take a minute to say shout out to both these dudes, man. Swanee, Lee, some of my best friends in the whole entire world.
go.
I do anything for you, dude. And JSM, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast
doubt.
and showing your support. I got to tell you one thing about JSM. This motherfucker don't text. He don't call. Anytime you talk to this motherfucker, it's FaceTime only. 'Cause that's his personality. He's personal. He's in your face. He wants to have an actual conversation because he's a good friend. He's a good person. So
I appreciate that, man.
that, bro.
I appreciate it, but I'm a FaceTime guy.
Yeah.
If you text me, sometimes I don't hear whatever. I don't check. I'll probably show you my text. That's probably like 64 missed texts right now. But if you FaceTime me, it's because I think we just don't get that these days, right? With technology,
Right.
there's no face-to-face interaction. I want to see how you're saying something to me.
Right.
If I say something, I want to see how it meant, how it hit you because
For sure.
text message can come off so crooked.
100%.
Because if when you walked in the room and we were talking about all that, if you would have sent that in a text, it kind of get misconstrued. But you guys know so. But FaceTime when you seen some. That's where it's at. So yeah, you FaceTime me, I'm picking up the phone.
Hell yeah.
As long as you in my phone, because there'll be some random ass numbers FaceTime me. I'm like, who the hell is this?
You're like, send me that calendar invite. I'm like, I am. I promise.
You weren't in his phone, bro.
But yeah, Kobe made it happen. He knew that this meant a lot to these guys, and so getting me on here, which I appreciate you guys.
Of course.
Reaching
Thank
out,
you for coming on.
because it wasn't easy. It was our calendars and what weren't lining up, and I got a lot going on this week. So I'm gonna do a shout out to my mother-in-law. She is going through cancer right now. We've been at it with her all this last week. She's not doing so hot, but she's fighting through it, and I'm not with her right now. I'm here, but she knows my wife blessed me to be here. So Ma, I love you. Keep fighting, and yeah,
We
I love you
we
and
appreciate
you.
it.
Prayers out to your mom.
Yeah, she's in our
appreciate
prayers, 100%.
I mean, we appreciate you taking the time, especially going through that, to come in here and and do this podcast with us. Like,
And it's a break too, you know what I mean? Because
For
it's I don't get out the house much. You ask, I'm in my garage 24/7. I don't get out much.
Yep.
So to get out and do something like this and talk sneakers and some grown-ups with some men, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's nice. So this is a break that I needed. So I appreciate you
Of
guys
course.
for having me.
yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Lee, anything else you want to add?
What's the ugliest sneaker? I know there's a lot, but okay, let's say like
Crocs.
there's a lot of ugly sneakers, but like
I'll second
have
that.
to go.
Crocs, 100%. Crocs
gotta go. And if you wear Crocs, you
Yeah.
can't come to my house.
Hey, Trump. Veto Crocs.
Hey Trump, if you
goes
veto
political.
Crocs, I will hand deliver and hand paint every Trump shoe from here on
He
out.
fucking
what
goes
about
political.
Hey,
Make
Karl Malone's LA gear.
No. I got a pair in my. I got a pair.
He has a pair
I
signed.
got a
It is-
pair signed that he wore, and the picture that he's actually wearing the shoes that are in my garage
Yeah.
is in the Delta Center right before you
The
walk to your
exact
seats.
pair you're thinking
Okay.
about, too.
So they're you know what's crazy is they're made so well that I could literally put them on today. There's no yellowing on them. There's no ungluing on them. Nothing. They are the most well built sneaker in my house.
Yeah.
But they're size 16, so they're like
It'd be like clown shoes.
it's really this big. And I'll send you a picture so
They're
you can
massive.
post it.
22
It's
pounds, one
this
shoe.
big.
Oh my God.
Ginormous. But ugliest shoe, definitely Crocs.
Definitely. Hey, make America Crockless again.
Yes. You know why I hate them though?
Trademark that.
Here's the real reason why I hate them.
They're ugly.
Because the last time I was in jail, we wore orange Crocs before they were Crocs.
Yo.
And I was in jail for parking tickets before y'all checked my shit. I had 16 parking tickets, or not parking tickets, speeding tickets. And I was in maroon, I think they were maroon pants, a brown top with orange Crocs. So that's why I hate Crocs. But they was comfy.
That's valid.
They're ugly.
Valid.
So
Fuck Crocs. I've always hated them. Every time I see people wear them, I'm like, why?
Yeah, you see the KFC Crocs with the little drumstick attached?
man.
No.
And all the other ones too.
I would have worn them when I worked there.
So what's the worst shoe for you?
Oh,
Ugliest shoe.
God damn.
And Lee, if you can think of one too, we might as well include
Yeah.
you. What do you
You
got?
know what shoe I hated? And I loved Shaq back in the day, but remember when he had that black and white one that was like
Shacknosis.
Oh no,
swirly.
Shacknosis.
I hated that
man.
shoe, bro.
Sean Kemp hat. That come on. That was
Yeah,
that
I
was
think they were called
the
Shacknosis.
kamikazes
Did you like that shoe?
and the kamikazes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the first like actual sneaker I remember buying, and I bought it for the name, and it was the most uncomfortable shoe, was the Grant Hill Feelers.
Oh, that shoes. I had that shoe in my car.
Yeah, I had that shoe.
I had the
too.
feelers.
I never.
They were
found that
not
shoe.
comfortable at
I
all.
was a Fila guy back in the day when they had the spiky bottoms.
Oh, yeah.
I was in high school, my school dance. I went to the school dance with this girl. I went and bought brand new Filas, like spiky bottoms, super huge. Like, yeah, I love
You remember when Grandma Ma had the Converse
Larry
with the
Johnson.
React juice?
Yeah, yep. Larry
And
Johnson.
KJ too, right? Kevin
Yeah,
Johnson had the same shoe.
Yep.
Yeah.
the most comfiest shoes I own. I'm a huge fan of the Pegasus.
Yeah, the Pegasus Turbo
Love Pegasus.
is the I'll even put it up against the Adidas Ultra Boost shoe because literally, if you walk wrong, because it kind of bounces,
Yeah.
it'll knock you
I
left
love
or
that
right.
bounce.
So I bought last year. I bought the Pegasus 40. And you have to order it from Nike. It's Nike's custom. They don't sell it in.
I actually went to the event they dropped
you?
it at in Chicago.
and they have like the drawstring.
Yep. So
Oh
they
my
they
God.
invited me out to Chicago, me and my wife, to go check out that. So we went to the Chicago store and they had all the colors.
Yeah,
there.
they're
Got to
dope.
try them on.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to purchase them, but I was able to try them on and walk around in them, and they were crazy. I'm
So
not
good shoe.
too pretty, but
So I bought the first pair and I was like, God damn, these are comfy. And then I was in the market for like another comfy pair, and I went back and bought the same pair.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I've had 2 pairs of the same color, same setup, same everything, and I love them. You've seen me wear them, the black ones. We go golfing every once in a while.
Yeah.
Golfing them?
Oh yeah, dude,
Oh yeah.
they're so comfy.
Yeah.
Are you a spikeless? You can golf in spikeless?
No, I have spikes. I have Jordan.
Turf.
I got Jordan spikes.
I'm not a
from him.
spike guy. I'm a turf guy. I like the turf bottoms. I don't like the spikes.
My favorite golf shoe is the FootJoys I bought.
Gotcha.
And they're not spiked.
And that's Gipper. Gipper, like I do a lot of stuff for Gipper. I've done some FootJoys, and that's like his pair. When Gipper puts on that and he has this whole persona when he buttons up and looks like he's going to like the prom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when he's on his game. So he does FootJoys.
Yep.
You know, him and his brother rock Jordan 1s elsewhere. Tony's kind of the guy that made Jordan 1s into the golf world.
Okay.
They didn't start making,
Right.
the golf bottoms before. Like, he kind of introduced that. But Gipper's a FootJoy guy. And God, he's so good. He's so good at golf.
Good. Oh yeah.
Your guys' comfiest shoes.
Mine's at Pegasus.
Pegasus.
Mine's the older ones for
And
sure.
then the
but
one
it's
you-
Pegasus.
I already said Ultra,
Ultra
Boost
Boost.
all day.
What
baby.
about you, Lee? What do you got?
The Yeezys, the
350s?
Boost, is it the 350?
Yeah, the
Which one I got?
350s
Yeah,
with the boost.
350 V2.
The big bottoms. And they're crazy comfortable too. I loved them, but I can't drive in the 350. My foot falls asleep because that top piece is a little too tight. And so my foot would fall asleep while I'm driving in the 350s. So I'd take them off. But other than that, walking in them, money.
Yeah, money.
I'll have to give me some Yeezys.
Boost technology.
What size shoe are you?
I'm a technically 10.5, but I'll go up to
Got a
12.
range.
I was going to say, I got a pair I'll give you,
There
but
you go.
you're going to have to grow up.
I grow out. I don't grow up anymore.
You know what's crazy is that your size is what my original size of these were in 7th grade.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were size 10.
Yeah, I stopped growing a long time ago. I just grow out.
Wait till your feet flatten.
They
Get a little bit
already
wider.
there.
Flat. Damn, you got a 10.5 flat?
Yeah.
Hey.
So when I buy the Pegasus, same deal. I always buy flat.
Got you.
Have to.
Got you.
Yeah. Shoes is bigger than you think, people.
Shoes is here to stay, baby. And I'm just glad I've been in the shoe game for so long to finally stick around to let it like
Yeah.
produce some
A lot of
fruit.
motherfuckers come and go. That's
Yeah.
for sure. A lot of them come and go.
I've said this in many conversations before. I lost my apartment. I lost my car sticking to this business. And I stuck it out. My wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, and she probably wouldn't have been my wife. I didn't change things around, but she said, babe, it's probably time you could look into something else. Because I dropped a cell phone business. I had a very successful cell phone business. I dropped it all for this, and I lost my apartment, lost my car. You know what I mean? So, and it's all because of this, and I'm just glad I stuck it out.
You had the struggle though.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the question: What was the first? This for everybody. What's the first sneaker that you seen on TV that you were like, I gotta have that sneaker?
Oh, easy. For me, it was Iverson's The Answer.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful shoe.
That's my boy. That's my all-time greatest.
Yeah, I'm a little older. Like mine was the Jordan 5s. Remember he had the commercial with Spike Lee?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be the shoes, Mike. It's got to
Gotta
be
be the shoes.
Shoes, yeah.
I seen those shoes. I was like, oh, I got to have those.
I'm with you on that.
Mine was, if we're talking about just one that was on TV, I'm going to go to Little Monsters, where the dude was wearing the Jordan 3 Fire Reds.
Okay.
When I seen him wearing the Fire Reds,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that shoe is sick. Like, I got to have that shoe.
Calling out Little Monsters with that
Hell
Fred
yeah.
Savage, bro.
Yeah, I
forgot about that
hell
movie,
yeah.
And he was rocking, Savage was rocking the 3s. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Remember that? Yeah.
Hell
and
yeah.
then, and I remember just watching my parents always watched Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't know. I know it's out now because what's crazy about the sneaker world is they always, every 3 years, you get all the new guys and they're like, did you see Savage wearing the 3s and Jerry Seinfeld wears these? And so it always circles around. But like, I got to watch that. When they aired, I would see him in the 6s. I'd see
Yep.
him. His shoe game was crazy.
Crazy.
And
Was.
Macaulay Culkin.
Crazy.
You know?
Yep.
So that was me seeing them shoes. You know, I was like,
yeah.
man, the Fire Red 3s I had to have.
Yep.
Dope.
Yes, sir.
Well, anything else you guys got? This has been fun.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
good.
I'd do this for 3 or 4 hours. But
Yeah, this is what we literally. That's why I started. So I have a hidden clothing brand that I don't advertise. I don't even know if you know this. Maybe you know
I don't
this.
think so.
So I have a clothing brand I started for. You have to. I don't even want to talk numbers because people are just gonna talk shit.
They're-
I have a clothing brand that it's expensive to even be able to buy the clothes that I sell. And this is a little something that I came up with because I knew how society works and how dudes want to put out there how big they are, whatever. So I started a clothing brand that if, and the only way it works is when one guy goes to a Jazz game and he sees another guy with it, he knows what it took to get it.
Right.
He knew how much money. You have to spend $15,000 with me a quarter just to be able to log on a website.
Right.
And then you're paying for an overpriced hoodie. Now I make sure my stuff is high quality, whatever.
Right.
Now I quit. I haven't done this in a while just because it takes up so much time, but I started a clothing line and it was called Sneaker Masons. Because every time you get a bunch of dudes that love sneakers together in a room, this is a masonry. We sit here and talk sneakers, everything about sneakers. So Sneaker Mason was my brand, and I started it, and I made hoodies and socks and $100 underwear. You get one underwear for $100. But what's cool is you get to pick your emoji. So when you buy a hoodie that has it, your emoji is embroidered on your sleeve. And then once a year, usually Christmas time, every member gets to buy 2 items for one of their best mates. And it has their logo and a plus sign. So I know exactly who bought it for you,
Right.
whatever. So I know
That's
the connection.
dope. Right.
So when you see a guy over here wearing a hoodie and it says Sneaker Masons embroidered on it, and you got a guy clear over there, they're usually on the front row guys.
Yeah.
And he sees them over there. They don't know each other already.
But they
They're
know.
connected that way. They're like, oh, I know what you spent to get that.
It's a secret society.
So
baby.
I love
that's-
that.
That was it, and it's
Right.
cool because
dope.
you're paying $65 for a pair of socks, but they're nice socks.
Yeah.
And you're paying $400 for a hoodie, but it's a nice hoodie.
But it's exclusive though.
But what's cool about it is the relationships that build, because I get a lot of emails like, yo, I met so and so and he was rocking the hoodie that you released last month, and it's like I met him, we talked to him, we're going golfing next week.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of started this secret society.
So you got it from like the Masons and stuff.
Yeah,
Hell
because
yeah.
like I said, my dad's from back east, and the masoneries out there are everywhere. Everyone puts it on their porch that they're a mason. And
Yeah.
here in Utah, I think the word masonry or mason has been misconstrued into be something that it's not, something evil. Here, what I can compare it to in the Mormon religion is it's kind of like they have what do they call the women's society? Is it called women's society in the Mormon church where all the women meet
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
everyone meets?
Yeah.
Relief Society.
Release Society.
Society, yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing, right? It's just a bunch of men that are talking about real life events. If they're having problems with their kids, they have a room full of brothers that say, hey, I went through the same thing. This is what I did.
Right.
Has nothing to do with devil worshiping,
Right.
nothing at all. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a bunch of men getting through life helping each other.
I like that.
And so Sneaker Masons was the name, the right
I love
choice.
the name.
So,
Yeah, that shit's dope. Oh yeah.
so maybe I should just make a generic version of it so everyone can enjoy it and sell great hoodies for way cheap.
No, because I think it'd water it down. I
it
love
would
that
water it down,
secretness, you
yeah.
know.
It's just expensive though.
Yeah.
It is, but at least you have like an exclusive group of people.
And it's cool because they are, and they all know each other, and if they
Right.
didn't before, they do. And a lot of guys that are new into the sneaker game, we talked about an email list that I had.
Yeah.
I have 4 of the billionaires from Utah on my email list that always buy everything that I release, whatever. They're not really hip to clothing or anything like that, but
Right.
they're always
Yeah.
like, man, because they'll log into their account and they'll show items they can buy, and they're like, oh, this hoodie's nice, do they run big, whatever, and then they'll wear it, and he'll message me and say, hey, I had a guy walk up to me and ask me where I got this, and then he's like, I knew where you got it from, I just wanted to hear you say where you got it
Right.
from. And I just need to get like a secret handshake too. For
You
these guys.
should, like a
yeah.
fraternity type shit.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But it was cool, and at the time, this was like 2015 is when I started Sneaker Masons, and again, I wasn't making a whole ton of money, so this was just another way for me to try to make more money. Because at the end of the game, guys, I love the game, but it has to feed my family. It
Yeah.
has to make
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
So
For sure.
I'm about the money now.
You could be both. You could love it and still make your money,
Shit, that's the dream right there.
That's what this guy is all about. This guy loves, because I know him so well, he loves the money, but what he loves the most is being able to provide something to someone that normally couldn't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it takes money to do that. And that's why, like, if you see every golf charity that I'm involved with, I donate these cleats to raise money for whatever they're raising money for.
Yeah.
And because of the amounts of money that I charge, and a lot of people will hate on it, but it's selling out, guys. I sell out, but I give back. That's the most important part.
Right.
I give back because I know where I came from. I knew what I grew up without, and I know what these kids are going through.
Right.
So that's why all my charity attention is towards these kids here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, you got to give back because at the end of the day, we're taking a whole lot.
So where can they find you at?
Oh man, just type in JSM801.
JSM801, baby.
You'll find me on Instagram. There's some underscores in there, but I'm on YouTube. I left TikTok because they kept banning me for some trademark infringement. Every time I would paint live,
They would ban you.
I was loving it though because I was raking in some money on TikTok.
Yeah.
I would 3 days 20,000 followers.
Damn.
I was growing. I'd get like 72,000 people in one of my lives, and I just had this thing that goes around my neck, and it's a magnetic and it holds my phone, and I'd be painting shoes, and their view was my view,
Right.
and the conversations were great in these chats, and then all of a sudden while I was live, I'd get these warnings, you're banned, and I was banned for just going on live.
That's crazy.
So then I started a new account again, 3 days, 20,000. Like I was growing super quick.
and then bam.
And then, but they don't even tell you really why. I was like, what am I doing wrong? And I'll quit
Right.
doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm painting. And I even put like when I jump on the live in your message board or whatever they call that, I would put, I do not sell sneakers. I provide a service.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was doing everything I could to get.
Right.
So then I'd email them and they just send me the list of rules. And they're like, here you go.
Yeah.
You broke one of them. So I just left TikTok. So I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Threads, I think now.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
JSM801, Kobe Ham, Lace City Souls, LLC. Reach us out. If you need some shoes, need to be plugged in, we got you.
When are we gonna get a freestyle from Kobe?
Oh, that's coming. I'm going to do that next week.
Next week?
Coming out with a mixtape. I'll tell you right now. Just might as well announce it. Old Dad's mixtape. I'm calling all the local MCs together. Come drop some bars. I will reach out to you individually. Don't tell me no. I don't ask for favors. I'm asking you now. So I'll be reaching out. I'm going to do a whole collabo. I'll be jacking for beats, recording it right here in this studio. Old Dad's.
Hit Misled Music out of Kearns. Misled Music. That dude's got beats for days.
Hell yeah.
Well, if
Misled with a Z.
If you're watching, hit us up. Hit the subscribe button. You know, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, YouTube. I mean, anywhere social media, we're there. So, you know, hit us up. We'll get you guys in contact.
Always working. Always.
That's it.
Lee, hit Brandon up. Have him dust off the old beats. Let's go. Let's get it going.
Let's work.
All right.
2025 is gonna be real productive.
Dude, 2025 is going to be my best year yet. 2024 was my best
Absolutely.
year. 2021 was my best every year. It's all just going to be better. It's all about connections. It's this right here that's going to do it.
It is.
Yep.
Connections. And quit hating in 2025. Let's leave that shit in the past. If it ain't got nothing to do with you,
Fuck it.
just
Leave it
admit
alone.
It ain't got nothing to do with you.
Don't hate about how other people make their money. That's
Stay
not your
in your
business.
lane.
That is
Right.
not your business how we make our money.
Let's go.
All right, fellas. Well, thank you for coming on.
good to meet you.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Lee?
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
See now people like to talk, I don't really like to hear them. See these dudes snake it, that's why I don't get near them. This rappers in my blood, I don't even know.